Scotty, since I got you here, we got to do some Joshi talk. Since we got you here, so Joshi talk with Scott E Wrestling. Before we get into our Joshi segment, because I'm going to clip this for YouTube, let's plug your podcast, sir. Let's plug where you're doing all your Joshi stuff.
Yeah, you can check out the 5-star Joshi show over on the Fight Game Media Network. If you want to go check out the Marigold Summer Destiny review, that is up over on the YouTube channel. Full video. You can check it out under the live tab. It was great 2-hour plus conversation talking about Iyo Sky versus Utami Hayashishita, Giulia versus Sareee, Giulia's future, all that good stuff. We'll have we have episodes usually out on Fridays, so there will be an episode out tomorrow or by the time you're listening to this. So if you're into it, if you want to get into it after watching Marigold, you want to get into it watching Stardom stuff in AEW, come listen to my show. That's why I'm here.
He is the foremost expert on in this hemisphere when it comes to Joshi wrestling. Nobody knows more than Scotty wrestling over here in the United States. So everybody go check that out. So I have a couple of questions for you, and I just been curious. So now that Marigold they're in full force and they're on Wrestle Universe, and I think it's a very well produced product. I think that they didn't know. I think somebody in the chat buried Mark Pickering, but I think Stu Fulton is their lead announcer right now, at least on the English side. And so I was able to watch the English broadcast of it, and I thought he did a very good job doing English commentary. So now that Marigold's in full force and they very well produced, or on Wrestle Universe, they got a whole thing going. Looks like they did a pretty good house where they were at over the weekend. Are they taking away from Stardom's popularity? Could you see Stardom dipping because of this?
Yes and no. Yes, because I think there's a different set of fans that have jumped into Marigold. I think there was a serious batch of Joshi fans pre Bushiroad Stardom that kind of left at the time, and I think they've come back for it. But, Stardom's attendance has been kind of going down most of the year as is. So it, probably plays part in part. But Stardom's always going to – Stardom has the big-time backing of Bushiroad, and that's always going to, do them well. They still have an incredibly talented roster that's going to power them through. But, it's the fact that Marigold's 2 months old and they did 3K in the Sumo Hall the same day that –
Hold on. King of the North said they did 3,100 in a 12,000 seat venue. Oh, so like an AEW show. Sorry, go ahead and continue, Scott.
So like they did 3,000 in, in 2 months while the Nippon Budokan show was running at the same time for Noah. Like, it's the same area. That's a good job by them. And that show was very lively, very hot, which was nice to see. Sumo Hall, unless you're New Japan, you're not filling that arena, right? You're not packing it to the
top. Have you ever been to Japan, Scott?
I have not.
No, you got to get there one day. I actually went to an event in Sumo Hall, but it was a WWE event back in the day. I think 2006, 2007 time frame. But that place is that's a really good sized venue.
Yeah. Like the size, and when I watch it on a first show, it's like, man, that building is huge. Like you can just see it when they pan out for any show, and anyone that runs it, good for them. It's not an easy building to run, but we're also in a time, I don't know if people know this, the Oda Ward venue in Japan's right now going under construction. I think there's a few others that are going under construction. So picking building, it's either Korakuen, or you go to Sumo Hall, or you go to another part. But that's for Tokyo, which is very notable right now.
Yeah. So they had some really big matches in Marigold over the weekend. I was able to watch a couple of them because a good brother on Twitter decided to put up 2 full matches. Thank you, sir. Thank you. You're a very helpful person. So I was able to watch the Utami Iyo Sky match, and that fucking ruled. And then as well as the Giulia, how do you say her name? Sareee.
Sareee. Yeah, Sareee.
Sorry.
Sareee. I think Sareee was how she said in WWE, maybe. But yeah, it's Sareee. You were right.
Yeah. So so obviously Iyo Sky was there as a representative of WWE. I think we'll see stuff like that going forward with some of their big shows, especially because it looks like Marigold is kind of tied to a Bima a little bit. With them being on Wrestle Universe, I think there might be a friendship there. WWE is on a Bima TV right now, and so I think that's also part of the reason why they're more than willing to send talent to Noah, because not only are they trying to gain a foothold into Japan, but their television partner is that it helps them. So I think and they're probably going to try to destroy it. We all know WWE, but so we did see Iyo Sky, and then Giulia is signed to WWE, yet she's still in Marigold. When is she expected to report for duty in WWE, and when she leaves, what is that going to do to Marigold?
So my expectation is, because they said Heat Wave for like the longest time, right? Bunch of people said Heat Wave was a possibility. I'm guessing sometime in September when the CW is coming around.
Yeah,
that's when they switch over to the CW. I think they're going to want her on there, Stephanie Vaquer on there, because those are going to be two big stars along with whoever else NXT has. I'm not going to sit here and lie and act like Trick Williams. I think those will probably be their big three, truthfully.
Joe Henry probably.
Joe Hendry too. You're not, we can laugh, but it's true. Yeah. He's going to be one of their big stars. So I think that's probably their goal right now, is to get her over there by September. I keep forgetting when the next NXT pay-per-view takeover, whatever that we want to call it, is. But I'm gonna guess September. In terms of what happens to Marigold when she leaves, she just missed pretty much the past 2 months due to the wrist injury she got at the first show. So they've kind of already adjusted almost without her being around. And they put the world title, as everyone saw, on Sareee instead of Giulia, which I think is another sign that she's probably leaving sooner than later. Which you would think anyways, if she's signed to WWE. She is the most unique free agent I've ever seen them sign, because I've never seen them just let someone like do an entire tour in another country. Like, we watched Vaquer pretty much go through the WWE process, right? Of like, oh, we need you in here now. Forget your dates. Get here. Right?
Yeah. But totally blow off New Japan, blow off Rev Pro, blow off CMLL, just report for duty.
Right. While Giulia is doing a house show on Saturday and Sunday in Japan and doing a full tour, and they're not saying like when she's leaving. It's the weirdest thing ever. She's been signed since what, April?
Yeah.
And she's still not there. They said her name on TV this week.
They're still trying to keep her fresh in everybody's minds. It is really weird, and I think that shows the difference between Giulia and a Stephanie Vaquer. Because I'm not going to cast any aspersions on CMLL. I get the feeling they're not paying those folks a whole lot of money. While I think that Giulia is probably making pretty decent coin, although the economy is way down in Japan right now, but she's probably doing pretty well to where she's not like starving to go to WWE.
She's probably making 2 contracts right now at this point.
Yeah.
Which, nice life, because I'm sure that WWE deal is somehow paying her already. I mean, she was the top star in Stardom, and then is the top star in Marigold. So it's like, that's got to come with some money,
Yeah. She's clearly, she ain't hurting for cash. All right, one last Joshi question, but it's kind of a TNA question. So I was able to watch Jordynne Grace over the weekend, and she was in Sendai Girls. I'll be honest with you, until you DM'd me telling me that I should watch this match, I had never heard of Sendai Girls. I thought I'd heard of Stardom, and of course Marigold was becoming like a big thing, and I'd heard of Tokyo Joshi Pro, and I've actually seen some of this Tokyo Joshi Pro like on Wrestle Universe, but I'd never heard of Sendai Girls, and so she wrestled one. What's her name? It's
Chihiro Hashimoto.
Chihiro Hashimoto. Were they calling her Dump Hashimoto? Is that, or am I making that up?
I don't think they called her Dump Matsumoto. No,
I thought somebody called her that, because I know there's a Netflix documentary.
Yes, that is coming out about Joshi legend Dump Matsumoto.
Matsumoto, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm actually gonna watch that. I'm looking forward to that. So, but yeah. So Jordynne Grace and Hashimoto, that match freaking rocked. That was really good.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
I knew you were a fan of Jordynne, obviously. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, well, Ashima was like one of the best in Japan. She's not going over to face like nobody,
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna tell him to watch this because I think he'll like it, and I'm happy he did.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was a really good match. And if you're a Wrestle Universe subscriber like I am, it's just on there. Like it just comes
Yeah.
in your service. But Marigold and then of course Destination, those were separate pay-per-views. So you had to pay a separate fee for those two. But Sendai Girls, this is just part of your service. So everybody, if you're a Wrestle Universe, I think this is not a free plug for my buddy Justin, but I think Wrestle Universe is like bang for your buck as far as wrestling services. I think that's like the best out there for real.
Absolutely agree. You get Noah, TJPW, Marigold, DDT, Sendai Girls, whatever Real 01 is. I don't know what the difference between 01 and Real 01 is.
Well, one of them is clearly not real. So.
And I think you even get like Deadlock Pro on there now.
That you do, and a lot of people have been telling me I need to start watching Deadlock Pro because they use a lot of TNA talent, and apparently the production is fairly good. So yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
I think they just booked like Mike Bailey and Jake something versus ABC, and I was like,
yeah,
wow, they just booked a better Mike Bailey tag team than TNA does. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of TNA, we got all of our TNA fans in the chat. Oh, hold on here. We got some people fact checking us. Let's see. NXT No Mercy September 1st. So there you go. No Mercy.
There you go.
So I think that's probably a good spot to have Giulia earmarked
right
for.
Before the CW.
Yeah. Io says, according to Thunder Rosa, there's more of the story between Stephanie and CMLL. I get the feeling that it wasn't just like for her to leave the way that she did. There had to be a little bit of heat there because I think that's pretty vicious. That has to be then to be about more than just money because the way that it went down made it seem like she just couldn't wait to get out of there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, and then King says Sendai Girls is run by Meiko Satomura, who is signed to WWE. So there you go.
Yeah, she is. She's wrestling her first matches there in over a year. Next week when they're in Japan.
Nice.